All right. Didn't really want to have to come back on, but apparently I'm going to have to because we have a developing situation, I should say. So, as I talked about earlier, had some tornado threat earlier. We haven't seen a whole lot of that come to fruition, thankfully. However, what we are seeing is a damaging straight line wind event. And so that's what I want to come back on for. We currently have severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Tarrant County, most of Dallas County for 65-mile-an-hour wind gust or higher. And we've had a few reports of that already, not widespread. But I just want to start with the velocity scan on the radar. And what this shows you is the wind speeds, these brighter colors. So as you can see, let's zoom in on this. So most of the heaviest winds, strongest winds, I should say, are Grand Prairie, about to come up on Irving, Cockrell Hill. So if you know anybody that lives in that part of the Metroplex, just definitely tell them to be on the lookout for that. Let's see if I can get my analyst tool to work here. Here we go. Yeah. All right. So let's zoom in here. Not too much. All right. So as I've always said, these are the radar scans at an angle up from the radar. So this is at 1,000 feet, a little bit more than 1,000 feet above the ground. So you see these 40 mile an hour, 45 there. So not anything much greater than that right now. It depends on there's a 50. So it depends on how it translates to the surface. Um, on Instagram, Nevster26, is this going to mess with the competition for a band tomorrow? It should not. No. So this will be an overnight thing. So everything should clear out in the morning. Not like sunny clear, but it shouldn't really rain a whole lot, if any, tomorrow. Cross your fingers on that. So no, this will not affect that. All right. So let's zoom back out here. Now, if we put this in motion, moving to the east, maybe just a little bit north of due east. And once it got on the other side of that radar, the radar beam right here, that's why you kind of had this little skip. So mostly moving to the east, but it is, well, really northeast, I guess you could say. So that's why we have the severe thunderstorm warning for most of Dallas County, at least except for the very southeastern sliver, I guess. So here's what you can expect the next 30 minutes, especially, and I get my drawing tool to work here, especially if you live in this area, which is a lot of us. This is the leading edge of these strongest winds right now, mostly 50, could be a little bit more. So this is going to be the next 15 to 20 minutes. So it's a little after 9:30. And so certainly by 10, probably before that, you may see some strong gusty winds. And any tornadoes? No tornadoes with this, although it's not totally out of the question, but so far it's just a straight line wind thing. But straight line winds can do just as much damage as a weak tornado. So nothing to mess around with, that's for sure. So this is what's a possibility tonight. I don't think it's anything to be overly concerned about, but it's something to definitely pay attention to. That's for sure. Okay, so like I said, we'll put this in motion. And again, the general motion is east, northeast, maybe a northeast component to it, east northeast maybe. So right now, and then put my drawing tool back on. It's 6:35. If you're south of there, I would definitely pay close attention to that. If you're north of there, hopefully we won't have to worry about it. Hey, Lisa, got my mom watching too. Okay, well, good. Well, hopefully there's nothing much to worry about for us up in the Saxy Wiley area, but it's definitely worth watching. That's for sure. Or making sure it doesn't get too out of hand. So again, put this in motion. This is where the strongest winds are, and what you don't want to see is you don't want to see the really bright colors. You just want to see the duller colors. And you've seen some of those brighter colors when it's on the other side of Fort Worth. I haven't seen a lot of of the really bright colors lately, but when we get the next scan, we'll find out for sure. And didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. So they did put a track on here. Whoops. Let's take that off. That's not going to work. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, let's go to reflectivity for just a second. All right. So, not surprising. Heavy rain, lightning, thunder, all that good stuff. The only severe aspect of it, which obviously is a big part of it, is the wind. And so that's just what you want to be on the lookout for. And we'll put this in motion. And again, the general motion is to the east, but it does have a northeast component to it, especially this little Boeing segment right here. Let's see if we can get another scan on here. Let's see if this is really what we use for tornadoes, so it's probably not. There's a 44. Again, this is about 1,500 feet above, so I don't know if that's. Yeah, that's can't be. I think that's radar garbage there. Let's go back to regular velocity. Yeah, yeah. There's not too bad down here, where you get the apex of the bow is where you always have to kind of be concerned about. Now, again, how far north this gets, that's the question. But certainly anywhere south of 635, you'll probably get some strong winds. Like I said, hopefully nothing crazy, but yeah, I think they just updated this. Okay, the good news is when this was first warned, it was warned for 65-mile-an-hour winds. Now it's only warned for 60. So that's good in a sense. It doesn't mean that we're totally out of the woods, but at least it's going down, not the other way. Let's see if we have any. Looking for any storm reports. Still 60, up to 60 miles an hour. Not really. Don't have a lot of ground reports, which is good and bad. It doesn't mean that it's not happening. You just haven't seen it yet. At the airport right now, flight's delayed. I'm not surprised, Joe. I don't know if you're coming or going, but or picking somebody up. But it's yeah, I'm not surprised at all. It won't last too long, hopefully. So stay safe out there. That's for sure. All right, let's go back to reflectivity. So, like I said, it's definitely got to be windy. That's for sure. If nothing else, I'll zoom in a little bit. Not that much. Okay, Saxy being right here, just for reference. Here's the leading edge of the stronger winds. Let's see, 40. Now, again, remember this is about 1,500 feet above the ground, so doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate to the ground, but it's going to be pretty close. But just above the surface, there's 52. I think that's the strongest one I've seen. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean it translates all the way down to the surface, so it's good. All right, let's put this in motion for reflectivity. All right. Right now, if you're in Collin County, Denton County, you're not under any warnings, but definitely going to be stormy, that's for sure. And it looks like this line at the last couple of scans looks like it wants to get a little more congealed up in this neck of the woods. All right, so the leading edge of the rain, which is where the wind is, looks like the last scan. Remember, these scans are just a little bit behind real time, and of course, those internet. Looks like it's going through the airport right now. I'm not sure, Joe, if you're at DFW or Love Field, but either way, you're getting it. Let's see. Yeah, it's gonna creep up a little bit. Let's put this in motion. See where we're at. How far north it goes. Yeah, it's still going northeast for the most part. So, but I don't see a lot of intense. It's not getting really intense. Now that doesn't mean it can't ramp up, but right now it's not getting too bad, thankfully. All right, so let's do back out here. So that's kind of the game in town, and even down here, um, Waxahachie Way, the winds aren't too bad, relatively speaking. All right, let's see what is South Garland or North Mesquite going to get any of this? Yes, they will. Um, but it is something that not to be terribly concerned about. Prices and gusty winds. Hopefully, it's not strengthening too much from what the initial warning was. But I mean, don't be surprised if you see 30, 40 mile an hour winds. That's not great, but that's not 60. Hopefully, it won't be 60. You're welcome, Elizabeth. I really enjoy doing that, as you know. Just want to let everybody know what's going on. It's not anything to panic over or anything like that, but just awareness more than anything. All right, so let's go back to reflectivity. And if you have a question or a comment in the chat, just put it up there, and we will answer it, or I will answer, I should say. So there's reflectivity. So again, moving 30 mile an hour ish. So on my earlier stream, it slowed down a little bit. On my earlier stream, I was thinking it was going to be in the Saxe area about 30 minutes ago. But excuse me, as these things tend to play out, excuse me, they have a mind of their own in a lot of sense as far as how fast they're going. But it is something. The winds, like I said, it is nothing to be terribly concerned about, but they have warned it for maybe up to 60 miles an hour. Like I said, the initial warning was for 65, so it has come down a little bit. Just something to be aware of. And this is not going to last all night, as you can tell. Once you get on the other side of this line, you definitely have some lingering rain and all that, but won't be anything to keep you up the rest of the night, thankfully. And then hopefully tomorrow won't be that bad, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be nice and sunny, but it shouldn't be too bad. All right, so let's just check. Let's go over here. All right, let's go back to velocity real quick. And, okay, we'll put this in motion. It doesn't seem to be getting terribly intense, so that's good. And yeah, so I would say that again, I think the Weather Service did a really good job in warning, creating a warning not to include Collin County, because I don't think it's going to get that far north. But I've seen, this wind signature is gradually moved east, north of east just a little bit. And no tornado for us. Yes, Cheryl, we do not want any of those. We had some, not tornadoes confirmed, but we did have some tornado warnings earlier, but that seems to have tampered down a little bit. But we could see some gusty winds. So that's why I just thought I'd come back on fairly quick, or not for long. I'm getting tired, as you can tell. And just say, hey, if you do see some gusty winds, it's nothing to be panicked about or anything like that, but it, definitely could get stormy in the next 15 minutes if you're in northeast Dallas County, even the far southern part of Collin County, the eastern part of Dallas County, all those areas you can think of. It's definitely going to be windy for just a little bit, but again, nothing crazy. All right, so let's go back over here. Stop this. All right, so I am going to see. Oops. So again, this is about almost 2,000 feet above the ground. And of course, when you get over here to us, we're about 3,500 feet above the ground. So probably a little bit stronger signatures down there, Cedar Hill. Most of these other ones are a couple of 40s. But again, this is above the surface, so not at the surface necessarily, at ground level. So not too bad. Relatively. So I will say this. In the next what is it? It's 9. This is a little bit after 9:45. So next 15 minutes or 20, you will definitely, really, no matter where you are in Dallas County, you'll see some gusty winds. It's not anything crazy, at least not right now. But don't be shocked if you saw winds over 40. If you do, hopefully it's not for very long. And then once that line moves through, then still have a little bit of stormy weather, but pretty much after that, the rest of the night, overnight should be okay. And tomorrow should be not a washout by any means, because see some scattered showers around, mostly south of us. But again, if you have outdoor plans, just make sure you know about that tomorrow. So, okay, so I am going to sign off because the wind signature does not seem to be crazy, and but I'll watch it. And something crazy goes along, I'll definitely pass it on. Let me check one more thing here. Uh, Okay, so at the airport at DFW, just had a wind gust to 46. Okay, so I'm not crazy about that. I mean, that's not anything to be overly concerned about, but that's pretty strong. Outdoor furniture secured. Thanks for keeping the taxi informed. You are very welcome, Cheryl. That's what I'd like to do. Just if nothing else, it is just for educational purposes and let you know what's going on. Was it like in Highland Village area? Well, that's a good question, Lori. Let's find out. I think you're okay, actually. Um, Highland Village being right there, and we will put the reflectivity on. Yeah, I mean it's raining pretty good. It's kind of stormy over there, but from a wind standpoint, you're fine, and it won't last very long, relatively speaking. So, matter of fact, we'll zoom back out. But just kind of stormy. Nothing too bad. All right, so there's a line. There's a reflectivity mode, and there's the leading edge of storm. So the leading edge of the rain is about to be on the tollway. So that means it'll be in our area probably a little after 10. Expect gusty winds, nothing crazy, unless it really ramps up, which I don't foresee that happening. But again, Mother Nature is crazy sometimes. Um, then once this line moves through, then should be pretty good for the rest of the overnight hours. And tomorrow definitely has some rain chances out there, but not a washout by any means. Sunday will be really nice. And as I talked about this morning in my weather report, probably our first true fall cold front, maybe not ultra fall cold front, but definitely fall like cold front, will be Tuesday, Wednesday ish next week. So um, look forward to that. All right. So let's look at velocity one more time. Oh, yeah. So that's good. It's definitely not near as defined as it was. So I would not be surprised if they certainly do not extend the warning. That's for sure. Sorry, I was looking at something. Okay. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, I'm watching the weather so you don't have to. After that, the next 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on where you're at, should be fine after that. And then hopefully we'll have a decent weekend weather wise. I appreciate you watching very much. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it.